lot of these tariffs come back in now, aren't they? About these, you're getting a good payback into the grid now.
Yeah.
As well as obviously, I would say always recommend getting a battery to store that during for the evenings and that. But paying back into the grid during the day, especially when you're working, you
Yeah.
can charge your battery up, the rest of it can go back into the grid, and you're generating income
Yeah.
from whilst you're working as well. So that is an extra bit of income coming in that's even knocking off your electricity bill. And yeah, and all, like I said, if you've got now, everyone's buying these electric cars now. We are doing a promotion at the moment as well. You get a free EV charger with every solar panel system and a battery. So obviously with a few terms applied, obviously you can, I think it's six or more panels and a 5 kilowatt battery or more, you get a free EV charger. So that's a good saving there. And yeah, it can really, really change for a lot of people and how it will help them.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And that's what we're going to go touch on now, is we'll just go through sort of frequently asked questions by sort of our client base, some customers, and obviously people that we've gone around to quote for. We just cover a couple of common questions now, so we can make everyone aware to save them from answering the questions themselves, as it were. So the first one that I've got in front of me is, what does renewables even mean for my home?
So yeah, a lot of people don't really know what renewables is. You know, you're normal, obviously you've got your solar, you've got your battery, you've got ground source, air source heat pumps, EV chargers come into that now as well. And yeah, and obviously there are wind turbines you can have, depending on obviously the size of your property. And we are in the process of doing a quote for a little wind turbine. So we will know a bit more about that going forward. But yeah, so everyone thinks it's a bit hard to try and get, but there are grants in place. You can get, obviously your EPC ratings can be changed because of this with your heat pumps, etc. And they don't, like heat pumps especially, everyone thinks it's going to rip your house apart, and they don't. A lot of it we can do from all outside. So yeah, if you can just get a quote, it's free. If you really think it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't. But yeah, really, obviously the next question I'll ask Craig is, how much does it really cost?
Haha. So in terms of this, obviously it's very tricky to sort of give you any figures at all. But roughly, I mean, depending on what roof you've got, where you're facing, what batteries you want, etc. If we just said your standard sort of 5 kilowatt battery, maybe sort of 10 panels fitted, commissioned, sort of tested and up and running for you, you'd be looking around sort of £10,000 to £12,000 mark, I'd like to imagine. Obviously there are many variables there. But yeah, on average, ballpark figure, that's what I'd say. There are, as I mentioned, obviously depending on the roof stuff, structure, what's on the roof actually itself, whether it's tiles or slate or something like that. There will be obviously a few variables in there. But we're very transparent when we quote. We go through, or potentially this is going to be, this could be an issue, this could be an issue, or how we're going to overcome certain problems that may be there, like trees or what have you. And yeah, so that's your sort of ballpark figures in terms of pricing. I mean, obviously, depending on the size of the array, the solar system, that will again be dependent on the bird proofing, care packages, and things like that. But for a 10 panel, 5 kilowatt, yeah, I'd say the ballpark average figure, everything was smooth, you'd be looking at £10,000 to £12,000. With that, doing that on the finance, you'd be looking at probably about 6 to 7 years to pay it back. But that's obviously, again, very dependent on how much energy you're using at the moment. So if you're using an awful lot, then potentially it might be a bit longer to sort of claw back, pay back. But if you're using less, then obviously great, even better. Really, you'll be paying that off quicker, and you'll own it quicker. You'll be saving money, making money even quicker.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on then. So we have, what kind of savings should I expect?
Well, we'll start from yours, like you said, you said around about 12,000. We'll just say, obviously, at the moment, any renewables or anything to do with renewables is tax free, zero rated at the moment. So
Good one.
they may or may not change that. We'll see what the government come up with next. But yeah, on average, I think the ones we are doing, especially lately, we've had a couple of customers have had quite a high electricity bill, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah,
A good amount, like £300-400 a month. So the last one we did, I think it was originally £400 a month. We've got theirs down to they're paying about £140 a month now, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then they're only paying, I think it's about £200 on the finance. So actually, are saving slightly a bit, not much, but they're saving a little bit of money actually monthly. And their payback period was 8 years.
Yeah.
And theirs is not all south-facing roof either. So that was that's a good one. And then battery storage. Adding the battery into that equation on your solar panels. They're not a huge amount of money. They're between 2,000 and 4,000, depending on what you're looking at. And like I said, and that's in that with that 12,000, like you said.
Yep.
But that changes things for solar panels when they got bought out. Like I said, a lot of people work 9 to 5, so you're not really using your electricity during the day. So why don't you just get yourself a 10 kilowatt battery, fit it up during the day, and then everyone comes home at night, the lights turn on, your kettle goes on, you're cooking now, and then all of a sudden now you're using all your storage of energy that you've done during the day. And then obviously, at the same time as when you are away during the day, and you fill that battery up, just sell it back to the grid now. These new tariffs coming in are really, they are really good now.
Yeah.
Pushing forward.
So not only are you saving money, you could potentially be making money, especially with, like Jordan touched on a few times now, is these new tariffs.
Especially for commercial buildings.
Yeah.
Now a lot of people are getting these tariffs are brilliant. You're getting a good payback on these now. So if you're a commercial building as well, you don't feel like you can't do it. They are actually really beneficial, and overall it will help your business as well.
Yeah, so the payback period then really, so to answer to the, obviously to touch on, to add to your question, is you eat immediately. You start saving almost immediately. As soon as the panels are on your roof, you should start noticing savings. We should be able to predict this anyway by all of the sort of information that we've got, the spec from the panels, the batteries, what your usage is. We should be able to sort of give you some sort of predictions anyway about when we should start saving, how much you should be saving, and time periods and time frames, etc. So again, that's how quickly you should start to notice the savings.
So the payback period, like I said, is to put it on a brief way, it'd be between 5 and 10 years. We can probably almost definitely get it in that range, can't we? Depending on the sizing. And depending on what you go for. Obviously, the higher quality is it's slightly more expensive, but then the lower quality. When we say lower quality, that is still for us. We have no low quality. There is a mid to high range, and then we have high range. Then there's no low quality.
No, definitely.
And the prices are really good. They're very, very competitive.
Yeah, they are very.
Let's start talking about our surveys then, Craig.
Yeah. So
step by step, let's
go through it.
Come on then.
So obviously, as soon as you inquire with us, obviously someone from the team, we aim to get back to you within 24 hours. Whether you get hold of us on our Facebook page, TikTok, email, you name it, we should be able to respond within 24 hours. From that, we'll arrange an appointment with you to sort of come out to the property, obviously meet you, have a look around the property. When we turn up on the day, obviously we sort of go through why you're getting in touch with us. We look at the roof, look at the insides of the roof to sort of see what we've got inside. We look at the current electrical installation. And then what we tend to do is we try and sit you down somewhere, sit down together and go through the requirements. So that with that, we... whoever comes out to you, whichever salesperson comes out to you, whichever sales rep comes out to you, we'll go through on the iPad. We'll look at the property from Google Earth. We'll get a nice picture of the roof and how many sort of panels we can fit on there, what would be the most panels we fit on there. Then we come up with a sort of a solution. So we decide what panels we're going to opt for with what we can fit on the roof. We'll then talk about your energy usage at the moment to see, we'll work out what power you're going to get from those solar panels going onto your roof to see whether that's enough or whether it's not enough, etc., and what we can do to adapt that and overcome that. And then we look at things like batteries, obviously depending on how often you're at home or not at home, etc., will be detrimental to what battery we decide, whether it's 5 kilowatt, 10 kilowatts, 15 kilowatts. Obviously, the idea is to really get as much energy into those batteries as we can. And then obviously feeding on from that, obviously then we can either talk about air source heat pumps if that's something that you're interested in too. EV chargers is another good one. Like Jordan touched on earlier, we've got there's a big boom for electric cars at the moment, and we can see why. So obviously, why not incorporate that into the free electric that we're going to get from the solar installation on the roof? So then from all that, we'll do a little report. In that report, we'll tell you sort of, it'll have a breakdown of your house, what we've talked about. So it'll give you your current energy usage, your predicted energy usages. You'll have some pictures of the roof of the house, where we're going to fit the panels, how they're all going to look. We'll also go through some pictures of the batteries and the panels, so you can actually see them picture version, photo quality, so you can see what they're like. And then we obviously go through some pricing together, whether you want any extras, like the care packages we offer. We then potentially have a look at finance options if you want to go down the finance route, and then we come up with hopefully a decision. From that decision, we will then have a look at getting you booked in. If you still have any questions, you can obviously pop on down to our showroom, where we've got display models coming in all the time, of actual panels, batteries, inverters, EV chargers. So you can come in and actually see them for yourselves, in case the photographs in the brochure aren't enough for you. And then, yeah, we get you booked in. Once you sort of got given a date, we tell you when sort of the scaffold is going to be there, when the engineers are going to be there, and for how long. That's another important one, because obviously no one likes scaffolding around their house. So we'll talk to you about how long we expect them to be there, and then install the panels, get everything going, get everything commissioned, get everything tested, get everything up and running. And then obviously once we got everything commissioned and tested, then we hand over to you guys. And during that handover, we go through everything with you, everything that you need to know, from emergency switching to the apps on your phones, how they're compatible with other apps, how we can incorporate them into other things. And yeah, that's really our
Yeah, no, so that's the main one. Yeah. That's the broad picture of it. I'm going to just talk about a bit more about maybe obviously actually the survey in the house survey. So for us, obviously exterior, obviously survey. We do send our drone up, don't we? We get some nice, lovely photos. And we always let the customer have a go, because they love it, don't they? Especially the men. Men love that. But yeah, so and we obviously get all the satellite imaging from that, as well as obviously Google Maps. In the loft roof space, looking at obviously if there is going to be any batteries or inverters in the loft, there's room, as well as obviously the structure.
Yep.
And electrical installation especially. So we tend to, if we can, incorporate into the existing board, or sometimes we have to include a secondary board. But we'll also add that we also do, in part of our package, don't we? We do an electrical installation condition report.
Yeah, we do.
Any ICR, okay.
What we do is we test all of the electrics in the house. So we test all the electrical cabling. We call it a full fixed wire test. And from that full fixed wire test, what we do is we produce a report, like Jordan said, an electrical installation condition report, an EICR.
Yes, an EICR, that's the one I'm going about. Yes.
So we can talk to you about your current installation, if it needs any sort of work doing to it, if it's good. But that is a sort of a legally binding document, which can go par and par with your house.
It helps, especially, like I said, is a lot of these, when you're selling the houses nowadays, the solicitors ask for the electrical condition report.
Yeah, usually we give 5 years on the certificate if it's all good.
Yeah.
That's usually about the sort of time frame. So you've got a 5-year certificate for free with the installation. That's something that we do offer. Yes.
Yeah. So that's a good one, because that covers it for 5 years. And that normally costs anywhere between 125 and 250, isn't it? So
yeah, 120.
So that's also something we do offer in the package. And obviously, yeah, if you do buy the solar panels and batteries with us, there is a discount on the care package as well.